I talk like this all of a sudden?
Right.
I think if you're an actor on the show, you probably go, well, I guess I better start talking like that. Everyone
At one
is.
point.
Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah, he is. His demeanor, it's interesting. And they don't show him. I mean, I get that. That's part of the effectiveness of knowing he's in this dark, cell.
Yeah. And he's been there for a while.
Even more dreary. Yeah.
Maggie with little baby Herschel is cute. And I notice he has a nanny, so...
I know, I saw that too. I was like, wow, must be nice.
I know. I guess it makes sense. She's the leader and everything.
She is the leader. It's so very Downton Abbey. Here, bring me my child. It's crying. Take it away.
There you go.
Yes. Poopy diaper. Nanny. Yeah.
That Jesus handed Maggie a letter from Georgie, who is that woman that came last season and gave them the book and tried to convince them to build.
Totally forgot who that was. It's like, who's Georgie?
Yeah, that's her. And this season, a couple episodes ago or something, Maggie had said that Georgie had been trying to get Maggie to go live with her. So, and I don't know why, because Georgie seemed like she was trying to convince other groups or encourage them to build themselves up. And anyway, either way, I feel like Maggie's about to exit too. So I think she's gonna go be with Georgie or something.
Is this her? Is she leaving the show too?
Yep.
God, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Why don't you people tell me this? I thought I'd heard that, but I when she was going through like a contract agreements or something or whatever, I knew that there was some issues, but I didn't know she made the decision to go.
She has an ABC show.
Oh, yep.
Whiskey
Okay.
Cavalier.
Got it.
So, but Georgie was presented as a good guy. Some people think that might be fake and she's sinister, and who knows? Maybe she's the same one that was on the walkie-talkie with Jadis.
Right. Yep.
That'd be interesting.
Yep.
A couple other just quick things. Another episode with Jerry and no Ezekiel. I think this is.
Oh yeah.
We had 2 in a row, and those are the only 2, and I think that's cool because everyone loves Jerry. So let's give him more to do, not make him just be a sidekick. Right.
Comic relief kind of,
and
which he's great at.
He is good at that. They should only have him do that.
Only at all. Yeah.
He's just a good guy.
Yeah.
And then what else? Oh, and then Maggie's helper, Nora, I think. Was that her name? Anyway,
yeah, I think so.
She came in and said the crows were eating all the tomatoes, and she said, there's too many of them. Seems like one of those things where the world's starting to have an edge over us. I just like that phrase. Like, I could imagine a few years into the apocalypse that nature might start to overwhelm humanity.
Right. Well, especially for people who weren't trained in the art. I mean, I guess she did. She was raised on a farm or whatever. But like, if you're someone who's never worked the earth or lived off the land, it's not an easy thing to do. And sometimes it just doesn't work out whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's that would be a heartbreaking job at times to have all your work just get fucked up by a bunch of crows.
Right. Crows. Right. Sorry.
Another show.
Yeah. Whoops.
They announced that who was it? Naomi Watts? Fuck, now I can't remember the actor. But there's a Game of Thrones spin-off coming out, and
are you kidding me?
They announced the main actor for it.
On HBO?
It's coming out next year, yeah, on HBO.
That made me so happy.
Yeah. Naomi Watts. She's going to be the lead.
Sweet.
That's cool. I like her.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Cool. Me too.
All right. That is good. Let's take a little break. There's more to come. Stay with us. Okay, we're back. It's time to talk about our second sponsor, and that is Fracture. Almost everybody takes and shares photos online. Who doesn't? I don't know. This is not for you if you don't. But if you do, I imagine very few of your photos end up printed, and even fewer end up on display. It's just not convenient. Well, now it is. You can focus on the moments that mean the most in your life by turning your favorite digital memories into meaningful photo decor with Fracture. It's super easy. Just go to their website, upload the photo that you want, choose a size, order it, and it gets sent to you, and it's all ready to hang, and it's in this beautiful presentation of your photo printed on this pane of glass. What is like a meaningful, what is the moments that mean the most in your life that you take pictures of?
My dog. If you were to flip through my phone, you would think I was like a little, I don't know, 79-year-old woman with like, well, my little chihuahua. Awesome. Yeah, I mean,
she's cute.
She's very cute. Mm-hmm. She's highly photogenic. Yeah, that and nature. And I actually have a Fracture, not from Mabel, but from my dog Benny. I ordered some like a larger, I don't know the size, like 8x11, whatever, and a couple of smaller ones. And I have those, and they're lovely.
That's awesome.
And we don't have we just keep pictures on our phones nowadays. Yeah. So it's actually nice to live in the good old times and actually have physical prints of pictures. But then it's really cool and on the glass, and then they make it easy to just hang up as soon as you get them. It's not difficult.
Yeah, and now you can look over and remember Benny
forever.
Yep.
Yep.
So as I mentioned, Fracture prints are made by printing directly on glass, and they even include the wall hanger right on it. It's really easy, and it's a really nice, sleek, frameless design that goes with any decor. They make great gifts, and gift giving season is coming up, so definitely consider giving one of your relatives or friends one of these. It'll be great. People love it. And they're handmade in Gainesville, Florida, in their factory from U.S. sourced materials.
Awesome.
It's a green company, carbon neutral. If you want to get one, go to fractureme.com/dead. You get a special discount if it's your first Fracture order, and pick the Walking Dead cast in their one question survey so they know that you heard it from us. Again, that's fractureme.com/dead. Thanks, Fracture.
Thanks, Fracture.
Obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is a Walking Dead cast news update.
Okay, Hollywood Reporter interviewed Walking Dead showrunner Angela Kang. Here's a few I thought were interesting. They said, "What were you hoping to achieve with the way Rick's story ends here in his penultimate episode?" She says, "In this story, we're seeing things come to a head. Rick has been really pushing this idea of the bridge, which is something that exemplifies the spirit of community and togetherness he believed that Carl wanted. He's seen that his own friends and the people he loves, his own family, they're at different positions in how they're thinking about things. We wanted to show a man who's trying to do something very good, optimistic and forward-thinking, but still with so much to contend with. We wanted to put him in a situation that feels impossible. I always feel like you get great scenes out of Rick that way. He's such a survivor, and he's a survivor because he cares about other people. He cares about his family, about his friends, and he'll do anything he can to help them and to save them. You see him in the middle of a selfless act at the end of the episode, and already he's getting just completely screwed. It's something that tells you about the kind of person he is. That's the story we'll be telling in his final episode of the show." And they kind of brought him full circle that way too. Like we mentioned, he fell off a horse in the pilot, but also he's more, maybe you can tell me if you agree, but he feels more like his self in the first season too now, because he's gotten so dark, but now he's more like back to just being a caring guy who wants to protect everybody.
Oh yeah, we've seen him. Yeah, I agree, because we've seen him go pretty dark.
Yeah. But even down in that first season, even protect people that some people might not think are worth caring about.
Right.
We forget, but Merle in the first season was just a total vile, racist asshole.
Yeah, he should have been killed immediately.
Yeah, and yet Rick wanted to go back into town and try to save him.
Right.
They say, if news had not broken about Andrew Lincoln leaving the show, would you and AMC have promoted what viewers saw in this episode in advance? Was your preference to take people completely by surprise? She goes, there was a lot of discussion one way or the other. Andy really wanted people to follow the story, but of course things leak. That's the way it is. We roll with the situations as they unfold. The choice was sort of taken out of our hands. So she's saying they did they didn't really have a choice because it was already out there. So they talked. But she goes, because that information was already kind of out there in the form of leaks and things like that, we were hearing a lot that there are fans of the show out there who may have lapsed, or there's time shifting or whatever it is. But those fans really want to see this story for Rick, and they want to know what it is, and they don't want to miss it. That was some of the internal discussion about it. Is it better to go for surprise? So basically she's saying that one of their rationale was just because people who stopped watching the show, they wanted to bring them back in for this.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yes. And then last, they said, how do you describe next week's episode, The Final Ride for Rick Grimes? She said, oh, he's only in it for the first minute. It's weird. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, what?
Just kidding.
It just starts with him just like,
and that's it.
What?
And then it's Daryl the rest of the time. He goes, what I hope people will take away, it's really elicited an emotional response in the people who are working on it. That often tends to be a good indicator. There's an emotional story to it. There's a lot of adventure, action, heroism, and some pretty big twists. I'm excited for that. I think there's going to be some things that are unexpected for the viewers. It's pulse pounding and epic. I'll even say the music in the episode is some of my favorite music that we've done on the show in a long time. Our composer, Bear McCreary, is amazing, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you start talking about the music when she just doesn't want to tell the plot, basically.
Right. There's this violin.
You just won't believe it.
It'll blow your mind.
But I can't tell you how it goes. Okay, next, Deadline.com talked with Norman Reedus. They said, going into the season, you've spoken about how Andy's leaving affected you personally as a colleague and a friend, but with you guys deep in production towards the latter part of season 9, how has it affected him in your opinion? He goes, let me say this. Andy's been on the set since he's left, but he's like, this show, it's the best it's ever been. He's like, I'm kind of bummed. It's fucking amazing right now, And the truth is, it got better. The band got tighter.
Oh.
They say, I would never take away the success you guys had back in the day because it was massive and it was impressive, but some bands actually weren't meant to always play stadiums. They were meant to play a good tune in really good clubs. Rita says, that's a great analogy. Some bands are heavy on lead guitar and it's just guitar solos forever, and the rest of the band isn't getting the chance to play. Now we got new singers, we got new guitarists, and I really feel that the show's the best it's ever been.
Maybe there's a twist. Maybe he's not really leaving.
And
I'm just kidding. I don't know. He's like, wait a minute, it's really good right now. We're such a tight band. So maybe this is like in your face to the people who leaked that shit. They're like, yeah, you leak it. Sure. And then he's actually gonna live.
Okay.
Not really. That's just wishful thinking.
No, I think you're probably right. Let's just say that's what's going to happen.
Okay, great.
So they ask, how is it better than it's ever been? He goes, we're making the show that we want to make right now, and you can feel it on set. You can feel it all over the place. I really feel the scripts and stories and the episodes are even better in the back 8. I really do. They're fucking epic, And they're just crushing, and they're severe, all of them. The show's morphing into something else, but it's got the heart and feel of the original show. There's just new life breathing into it. So do I think we'll lose viewers after Andy? I think they'll tune in to see what happens to Andy, and then they're going to tune in to see what it's like without him.
Yeah, I would think. Maybe there are some people that are so hardcore that they're like, well, next episode's going to be the last time I ever watch The Walking Dead.
There will. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. People can be pretty extreme.
Yeah.
I forget.
But I think, at least, half of those people will say that, and then they'll still tune in to see what it's like.
Yeah, because now it's intriguing. Like, oh, well, where will it go?
Yeah, what's going to happen now?
Right.
Okay, so this last one, Andrew Lincoln wrote a letter to members of the press, that I guess media people who regularly covered Walking Dead, and I thought I would read it because it's really good. He says, thank you for coming with us on this journey, for the 9 years of fear, heartache, anger, and let's face it, guts you've shown by making it through these 115 episodes and counting, and for services to journalism that go way beyond any civilized level of human endurance, for understanding that despite the high volume of undead, this is actually an ongoing story about what it is to be alive, a story of hope, family, and friendship. People with nothing in common discovering that they have everything in common. I love that line.
Yeah.
United in their search for humanity and a place to call home. A story that has perhaps even more relevance now than it did when we began. It's been the most exciting, challenging, and satisfying role of my career, and for the best part of a decade, the greatest adventure of my professional life. This season feels like the show I fell in love with all those years ago, and the world we were always heading towards when we wrapped the pilot episode. By my own rough count, I've killed over 400 zombies during the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Lost a horse, found a horse, lost a girl. That didn't go well. Ate a dog once, wore a meat poncho twice, escaped from a bunch of hipster cannibals. Not to mention, I've been shot twice, baseball batted, stabbed 3 times, bit a man's throat out. I'm sorry, that was weird and tasted like chicken. And had my cowboy boots resold 12 times.
Wow.
We began as an indie movie and years later became a 3-letter acronym, WTF. And along the way, we've had the unique pleasure of meeting zombie enthusiasts all over our beautiful blue planet. From Tokyo to Trinidad, people have been united by their love of this story of survival and Norman Reedus' extraordinarily luscious hair.
And greasy.
It's been a wild ride, shaped by the relationship between the show and the fans of the show, and in no small part, you good people of the press. I look forward to following your coverage of the show and my friends in Atlanta for seasons to come.
Oh,
What they have planned is quite incredible, so thank you for all of it, for the good, the bad, and of course, we wouldn't be a free press without the ugly. Until our paths cross again, keep calm and carry a red machete. Andrew Lincoln.
oh, man. Damn. That must have been something else for him to write.
Yeah. He's a good writer.
He's very eloquent.
I like it. And
Yeah,
I like that he goes, and of course we wouldn't be a free press without the ugly, because that's sort of a little bit of a jab back probably at, people who weren't so nice with him. But it's also saying, hey, stop dissing on bad press all the time.
Right.
Because that's part of the deal with the media. They report on the truth.
Yeah. The media.
So, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, that was really lovely.
That's it for the news. Now let's move on to listener moans, groans, and grunts. Would you like to go first?
I would. Yes, I would. Okay, this is from Rick Montalban. I really wish we got Angela Kang sooner. I kind of agree. Rick and Daryl's arc this episode was something else. Loved this one. Ending was heartbreaking.
Yeah, maybe we should have gotten her sooner. I mean, I always want to stand up for Scott Gimple because I think he did some really great things for The Walking Dead.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it went on a little too long.
Yeah, it's, fresh. It's fresh.
Yeah. Alicia Stout says, I think Daryl talked more this episode than he has in the past 8 seasons.
See? Susie Coolscar. I refuse to believe that Rick dies being stuck on rebar with no one there with him. You and me both,
I
Susie.
know, that does sound sad. It kind of reminds me of Captain Kirk in Star Trek Generations. Did you see that?
Oh, yes.
It was a little anticlimactic and lonely, and so I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yep.
Bryson Wolf says, I liked it. I hated it. I wish the story would have moved this quickly while Rick was still going to be around. I know, huh? But it feels like they're only rushing to wrap up Rick's story and move along. I don't think he will die laying on rebar. He'll find a painful way to get off of it. Otherwise, it'd be a pretty boring final episode for Rick. Yeah, if he's just laying there groaning.
Right.
That won't be good.
As he gets eaten. Yeah, I kind of agree. I think there might be a getting off the rebar and then, the death experience somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Mofavo says, wow, episode was a bit disjointed, but think that may have been intentional feeling off balance. Few questions. Assuming Rick spent nights at bridge camp, does that mean Michonne was leaving Judith alone to go have her walker sessions? No, she has a nanny.
Yeah,
Rick...
that was Herschel that we saw had a nanny, Maggie, but I bet you.
Oh, that's
Michonne,
right. I'm sorry.
I bet you Judith has one too.
She probably has one too. Yeah. Whoops, wrong nanny, wrong kingdom.
I was thinking the same thing.
Rick must sleep very deeply. How long do you think she is slipping out for her therapy? Do we think anyone at camp got shot? Kind of left us with a cliffhanger. No one is discussing.
Yeah,
really, yeah, it's true.
Let's answer these as we go.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? But I guess we'll find out next week, right?
Yes.
I think some people must have. Yeah.
Something right. There couldn't have been that much chaos without. So who knows? Next week's episode might really, really be heavy. Really enjoying the Walker encounters in each episode this season. Solid execution and very good suspense. I feel like I could have written this, Mufavo. We should have a drink sometime. I agree. Totally. Seen lots of concern about Rick possibly dying alone with all those walkers. Thinking about it makes it very sad. Understand the criticism of seeing a hero possibly die that way, but it does bring the emotion if they execute as well as they have been executing so far this season. I am excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they'd have to. They couldn't just,
Yeah,
right.
He can't just like die in the first minute next week.
He could. He
and
could.
Then they're like, we told you this was his last episode.
Right.
Okay. Fran Bernstein says, I love the episode. The Negan and Michonne scenes were intense and amazing. It was all great until the end, but I will reserve judgment until next week. If this is the way Rick goes out, I'll be really disappointed. Can you really die alone? Ugh.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page. Carrie Masao Abels, mother, friend, leader, Zed Slayer, badass, negotiator, comforter, lover, fighter. I want to be Michonne when I grow up. I'm looking forward to her leading the group. The Rick Tatership is coming to a close. Time for her to lead the pack. Rick Tatership. I like that.
This is like a song. I'm a mother, I'm a friend.
I know, I should have sung it. Rick Tatership. I don't know, anyway.
Heather J. Millsap
Heather
says, I was wondering if, since we lost Carl and all hope for that wonderfully weird dynamic he had with Negan in the comics, if that bit of storyline is going to happen with Negan and Michonne. Maybe so.
Elizabeth Nikolajevic. Sorry.
It sounds right.
Negan, yeah, right? She's like, no, actually doesn't. Negan saying Michonne and him alike, and he has nothing left but his bat, Lucille, parallels Michonne having nothing left when Rick's gone, but her Katari? Is it Katana?
Yeah, it's Katana, right?
Katana.
Yeah.
Sorry, when Rick's gone, but her Katana, yes, there's Judith, and yes, probably pregnant. Ooh, I didn't think about that. But her soulmate's gone, and I say Michonne's going to kill Negan with that Kitana sooner or later. Hope versus despair. Pregnancy.
Yeah, there are definitely parallels there. I guess one thing I didn't mention is because Negan's trying to convince Michonne that they're just alike because they're hardened because they lost someone and they get off on killing and everything. But I feel like Michonne has this heart and vulnerability and caring that Negan doesn't have, and that's what makes her different. And just because they have some things that might look like they're in common does not negate that other thing that I just mentioned.
Right.
Chelsea Maria Ray says, I actually enjoyed the episode. I was super thrilled with the scene in the pit between Daryl and Rick. Finally, someone was able to properly speak their piece to Rick in actual understanding rather than smartass comments. The brotherly bond between these two has been one of my favorite things about the show. Yeah, I like that too. I really do. Even though I've said Daryl's not my favorite, I really like that brother bond between those two. I hate knowing it's coming to an end. Wish I would have never known Rick was going to die and been surprised. Well, surprised. He died an episode earlier than you thought. Surprise. I agree with Daryl 100%. Screw the saviors. Even Carol tried to voice this to Rick, and he still couldn't get it through his thick skull. And just as predicted, they came back. Still, a part of my heart is hoping Jada/Ann will trade Rick because we still want him alive. But I think if he's going to be taken out, I'd rather it be walkers than people. That's kind of what I was saying. Yeah. Also, giving us a reminder that, yeah, walkers suck, but people are worse. Yet we still have walkers wanting to eat our faces.
Right.
That's pretty bad. Side note, didn't even know about this podcast until the beginning of the 9th season. I truly hate I missed so much and didn't find it sooner. Can't wait to hear your theories and comments. That's amazing. I didn't know anyone still found us. Yeah. Awesome. Welcome aboard. Okay, we have a one email here that's kind of poignant, so I thought we'd read it.
Who, me?
Sure, if you don't mind.
Okay. This is Gemma from South Wales, UK. Hello, Jason and Melissa. Not faring too well this morning. Literally heartbroken. Really not sure how I'll cope with next week's episode. People, yeah, it's a good thing I'm reading it. People laugh at my reaction to this, but I've watched Rick and The Walking Dead since day one back in October 2010. I've been along on this journey with Rick, and I always felt it was Rick and Carol's story ultimately.
Carl.
Oh, Carol. Again. Yeah, give the poignant one to me. I've been along on this journey with Rick, and I always felt it was Rick and Carl's story ultimately. I'll never give up on the show, but it's just going to be hard without Rick. Last night's episode, nonetheless, was fantastic. The quality of writing is just wonderful, and I loved every interaction and all the little callbacks and references. Carol and Rick's scene was genuinely moving, and you could see the tears in both the actors' eyes. See, I told you. He's got a lot of history with Carol, and I'm so glad the writers included the exchange. Michonne was doing a Buffy the Vampire Slayer last night. Buffy admits in one season that she had been going out at night hunting vampires, instead of merely doing her duty to slay them. Michonne can't sleep and is restless, and the draw of her sword is simply too tempting. She is actively hunting zombies to satisfy something she feels she's missing in Alexandria. Michonne and Negan's interaction was brilliant, and why am I feeling sympathy for Negan? I don't know. Me too. I thought it was a Midwestern thing, but obviously not since you're in the UK. Daryl and Rick's fall into the hole felt a bit fabricated, but it did amp up the tension when they were climbing out. And I really thought Rick would somehow fall in the mass of walkers. I also like that they settled their differences and Rick called him brother again.
I was thinking Rick might too. I was saying,
Were you?
Is this it? Is this it?
Oh, I put my head out of it because I was like, no, that's going to happen on the next episode. But as we see, whatever horribleness very well could have started in this one. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, they could have just started eating him and then finished eating him next week.
Yeah, right. Yes, it takes a while, you know.
He's chewy.
Yes. And of course, Rick has been impaled on rebar, and a horde of zombies are converging on him. Every time rebar was mentioned in this podcast, people should be like doing a shot or something, by the way. I'll
put that in the show notes.
Yeah, please do. Sorry. And of course, Rick has been impaled on rebar, and a horde of zombies are converging on him. Horrified howl from me.
No.
It did, It did remind me of the end of the pilot episode when Rick is in the tank and the aerial shot of the mass of zombies. Mm-hmm. We had a similar shot with this, but the horse is still alive at the moment. Yup. I made sure to see that too. The horse was actually off to the side, and in my head I was like, run! Next week episode does look brilliant, but like I said, it's going to be gut-wrenching. Rick Grimes is my hero. Yeah, this is a crazy coming to an end for not only the actors and the show, but the fans who have been with it for so long.
Mm-hmm. And I know I met
Big
Gemma
loss.
in England. She's really nice, and I know she always talks about how much she loves Rick.
Did I meet Gemma? Sorry if
I'm not sure if you. Yeah, I don't remember. You might have.
Well, you sound lovely. Hopefully, we did meet. We've officially met mentally now.
Oh, I also forgot to mention. The white horse seems maybe significant. White horses in mythology and religion mean different things. Sometimes it can mean death on a pale horse, or can mean pestilence, like the four horses of the apocalypse, like plague and things like that, or disease. But it might mean a conquering hero. I don't know. I should probably do a little more research into that. But it seems significant that it's such a starkly white horse, you know?
Right.
Anyway, we have a couple of calls. We actually are out of time, though, so I'm going to save those. And, after next week, that'll be Lucy and I covering the episode, Rick's final episode. And then Karen and I are going to do another episode during the week because I want her to do some coverage on that too.
You kind of have to.
Yeah, and she's not.
It would only be right.
She's not available for the main one, but she'll be on that one, so that'll be great. So we'll cover. Call in if I didn't play your call this time, or write in. And we want to read everybody's feedback and reactions to Rick's final episode and everything. So that'll be coming up soon. Now we're going to play Comic Talk from Lucy and Derek, so take it away, guys.
Hey, Zedheads, welcome back to Comic Talk. I'm Lucy.
And I'm Derek. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has.
We're here today to discuss The Walking Dead comic connections to Season 9, Episodes 2 through to 4.
Yes. Well, we're trying to get some connections out of the first, the other 3 episodes that we haven't talked about yet. Not a huge amount. There's a couple of things that are in there that couldn't possibly be from the comics because they're featuring characters that don't exist in the comic book world, as we've talked about before. But there's a couple of bits and pieces that have been handed off to other characters that we're going to talk about probably to begin with. We're going to talk about the allusions to things that happened in the comic books. Will I kick that off, Lucy?
Absolutely, go for it.
Yeah, I think probably one of the big ones that we haven't talked about really is Aaron and where he's ended off. They've made a lot of comments about this from early on the TV show. Rick is the one that loses his hand in the comic book. He gets it chopped off by Negan, and they'd made...
Oh, no, by the governor.
Oh, by the governor. That's right. My gosh, that's such a long time ago now.
But you're right, though, in the show, they made it look as though that was about to happen with Negan. So we were all kind of baited at that point where we were like, it's going to happen now. And then it never actually happened. It was very sad, very unfulfilling.
And there was a couple of moments where we saw interviews with Kirkman saying that he didn't want to do it on the TV show. It's much more costly to do it on a TV production, have a person who has to lose their hand every single week. So they seem to have given that over to Aaron because Aaron probably doesn't appear in every single episode. So it's a big moment for him, but they don't have to use it every week. So it's a good idea.
Yeah, it was. And I think what's been coming up online as well is, whether intentional or not, Ross Marquand's uncanny resemblance to comic book Rick.
Mm-hmm. True, very true.
With the kind of short curly hair and the beard and the now lacking his hand. Yeah, it's nice that they've put it in there in some format. It's a shame that poor Aaron had to lose his hand, but it does also satisfy some of the comic book appetite for that particular character beat that never quite happened.
Yeah, exactly. And we know over the time we have heard that the actor wanted to lose the hand as well. So so it's kind of interesting to see that it's been given over to Aaron. But very different circumstances. As I say, it was a punishment really for Rick in the comic book, as opposed to an accident that happened to poor Aaron. A fantastic scene, and I think it had everybody's toes curling.
It was so gruesome. It was brutal and so realistic looking. It was it was gross.
Absolutely. Another big illusion really that they're using throughout the show we've seen so far, the conversations with Negan. Now, these mostly happened really with Rick and Carl. As we know, Carl's not there, and sadly Rick's going to be gone pretty soon. So they kind of have been handing them over to other people. Quite interestingly, in the comic books, I think Negan was gone for almost a year in time-wise. So we had a couple of kind of mentions that he was around, but in terms of him actually appearing in the comic book, it was always kind of said he was in prison and that he'd stay there forever. And then he kind of had disappeared for about 10 issues, which was almost a year of real time, I suppose. So when he did appear back in the comic books and had those conversations, it was always quite interesting to hear his take on the new world, which is what we're kind of getting in the TV show.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because in the comics as well, you could never really quite read the tone of Negan. So I think these are conversations that are playing out quite well on screen. His one with Michonne was quite interesting. And then I was quite against it to start with because I really felt that Carl and Negan had the most interesting relationship from Negan's character. But I quite like the way in which they're incorporating different characters to speak to him. yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. So we'll see where that takes us.
Yes, absolutely. And we do hear a little bit from more about Negan's wife. We heard in the past, we had a conversation with Gabriel last season. We heard him talk about his wife dying from an illness. Only just a tiny bit of extra information we hear that his wife did actually die of cancer. That was only hinted at last season. And it is the way his wife dies in the Here's Negan book.
Yes.
So that's directly from the comic books as well. So a very sad way of him describing it, that he's happier that she's gone because it would have made him weak. Now that's a real TV Negan, not comic book Negan, I think.
Definitely. And it's interesting, it came out in conversation with Michonne rather than, I think it comes out in conversation with Maggie in the comics. I think I think that's the first, if you've been following Here's Negan, then I think it tied in quite neatly that he revealed that to Maggie just as Here's Negan was finishing. But I think if you were just a sole comic book reader rather than the Negan kind of prequels, it was just revealed during their confrontation. So I thought it worked quite well with Michonne. That was a good one. And
I suppose also interestingly, in the illusion side that we're talking about here, the other piece that's kind of talked about here. Now, we weren't doing comic book talk back in season 4. I know Michonne has revealed her back history a little bit to Carl back in season 4, but that also was revealed in a Michonne book and the Telltale game Michonne prequel kind of thing, the one that was going on during the series. So this whole conversation really that's there is kind of taken from two external sources to the main comic book, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah.
So in the comic book origins of Michonne, she has got 2 daughters rather than a son, but we have heard about her son previously on the TV show. So there is a slight change there, but it is great that she's incorporating that into the conversation with Negan now. As Carl's gone, not many people know her actual history, so quite interesting that she's sharing it with him as well.
Yeah, I found actually on some of the forums quite a lot of outcry that Michonne was having this conversation with Negan rather than Rick. But I kind of liked that he drew that out. I thought that was quite an interesting, dark kind of moment for the two of them. Yeah. So I'm on board.
Yeah, I can kind of see it. Like I suppose, with the year and a half, the time jump that we've had, hopefully she's had that conversation with Rick already.
You'd hope so.
Hopefully. Is there anything else that we have on Illusions for so far?
Let's have a look. Michonne-wise, I'm intrigued to see how it plays out because Michonne and her backstory are kind of revisited unexpectedly in the Commonwealth arc. And I'm wondering, I don't think that can possibly play out given what we know about her having a son rather than 2 daughters. Yeah. But I guess we'll see how that happens. I like that they're bringing in Michonne's legal expertise in the show as well as in the comics. That was nice. Yeah. For a while I was not concerned, but I wondered if Michonne was just going to simply take over Andrea's role. But I think they're keeping enough of Michonne's own character there that her taking Andrea's role as Rick's love interest hasn't actually made her character suffer too much. I feel like we're getting Michonne the character as well as Michonne the kind of wife figure, which is good. Yeah. I like that we saw Maggie breaking some horses in back in episode 2. That was a nice moment in issue 134 where we see Maggie at Hilltop doing that, and it's a nice way of tying back to her sort of backstory as being a kind of farm girl and what she was doing before the zombie apocalypse happened.
True, yeah.
What, I guess, moving kind of into the realm of speculation, we've got a few things. The Jadis and the A and the B and the helicopter, what do you think? Is it Commonwealth? Is it Whisperers? Is it something completely new?
Well, I'd say we're probably not connecting the Whisperers and the helicopter.
No.
If the Whisperers are anything like their comic book counterparts, which I think they're going to be, they've kind of eschewed any kind of technology as such.
Yes.
They've pretty much kind of going back to basics. So the idea of them having a helicopter at all is pretty unusual.
Yeah,
I kind of think this might be a new group, might be the Commonwealth, but I think we'd said before that is it Georgie, that her group is kind of like the Commonwealth.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, but this might be a brand new group, and I always thought this came from an error in filming, where the first time we saw the helicopter in the background was by mistake. So I feel that they may have made something up to cover that up.
Yeah, I wonder about that because it does seem a bit. It is a bit arbitrary. I'm more into it than I thought I'd be. And I think what we're seeing is, and I don't know if this counts as speculation, but I think there are rumours that there's going to be another time jump in this season. I think that's well known. If not, then I'm very sorry, guys. And I'm wondering if the Whisperers are just going to be held back till we've done that jump.
Yes, probably. Yeah, that would.
I feel like to introduce them before Rick's final episode would be I don't know. I don't think it would work necessarily. So I'm wondering if there are any Whisperer ties in what we've seen. And what I wondered was if some of the ex-saviors would go on to become Whisperers, particularly some of the character saviors like Jed. Was it Jed that died? No, Jed's still on the go, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's
Jed's
the
still on
one
the go.
who I wondered if that was going to be our way into the Whisperers in that sense. But maybe not. Maybe this is just going to play out as a failed savior rebellion. Who knows?
Maybe. I think one of the things that I kind of was seeing hints of from the Saviors and the Whisperers side was obviously back in the episode where Oceanside was kidnapping the Saviors. That's kind of how we're introduced to the Whisperers in the main arc of the book.
Yes!
Is that members of the camp start to disappear. So yeah, so I was really shocked that episode tied up with Oceanside being responsible for it, and then it just kind of closed down. But I wonder if that's going to set up that in the future when people start to disappear, Oceanside start to get blamed for that, when actually it's the other party, potentially.
I wonder if that's, because that's a further way to kind of muddy the waters, isn't it?
Yeah.
I never did ask you, how do you feel about the casting of Alpha for the Whisperers? It's Samantha Morton, I think, has been cast.
I absolutely love Samantha Morton. I've loved everything she's done, really. She's one of those kind of actresses that appears in so much stuff. And the casting of Beta is perfect as well.
I'm so excited to see them. And I like that they've not gone straight into it. I think it's good that we're having a bit of a breather before the next kind of big bad. So fingers crossed. There are 2 upcoming events that I wondered if you had any thoughts on regarding comic book bits that might take place. The first is probably the less traumatic to speak about, which is Maggie. It looks like Maggie's going to see Negan.
Yeah.
Is it going to play out similarly to the comics? Is it going to end in the same way? What do you reckon?
I suppose my big prediction is really that she's not going to kill him. That he's going to get his way out of the situation. Which, I think it's kind of obvious. We're not going to have Jeffrey Dean Morgan coming back for 2 episodes and then disappearing.
Yeah.
Especially when we're losing so many other characters. But will it play out in exactly the same way? I don't think it can.
No.
But I do think they're going to have that conversation, and I think he may be able to convince her somehow. And potentially with the help of Michonne. The conversation she'd had. What do you think yourself?
I think these first 4 episodes have been brilliant, and that gives me faith that they're going to do it well. But part of me, what paid off so much for me in that comic issue with Maggie and Negan was it felt so earned for both of them. Yeah. It felt really natural that you would get to that point and enough time had passed, and it was about Maggie coming to this realization in herself that she didn't want that anymore, and sort of almost her ability to walk away from it. And I wonder what with Lauren Cohen originally leaving, but now it looks like she might be leaving and coming back. They've rushed it slightly, so right. I don't know, but I think I would have felt more disenfranchised if they hadn't had it at all, because to me it's an important thing to address.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. I think it will be similar. I don't think anyone's going to be getting snogged at the end of it, sadly. No. I ran through that in my head and I was like, no.
No, I don't think that's
no, I don't think so. Although I do think that there's a little spark going on between Daryl and Aaron. I'm just putting that out there. I know in the comic books we kind of move towards Aaron and Jesus, but I'm sort of thinking
they've been trolling both of those since the start of the season. We definitely saw a moment with Aaron and Jesus in episode 1 as well. So definitely see.
Poor Aaron, he seems to be just being paraded around, doesn't he? Like the last single guy in the apocalypse.
Absolutely, yeah. Great guy there.
Okay, so we've danced around it, but what do we think, if anything, is going to come with Rick's death? Assume death. I mean, I know there's conflicting reports out there about how it's going to end, but it looks like he's heading for a demise of some sort. Yes. Are there any sort of comic beats that we're hoping for or will happen?
There's 2 particularly connected to the end of this week's episode, and one you might be a little bit shocked that I've connected the 2.
Okay.
Father Gabriel's death in the comic books. Rick's moment at the end of this episode.
Brutal.
I couldn't think of any other connection to this death that would be worse, really. It feels like accidentally falling over, impaling yourself while being surrounded by 2 hordes of zombies. Just felt like how Father Gabriel went.
Yeah. Because he just slips on a ladder, doesn't he, and gets kind of stuck.
Trying to warn everybody of the herd approaching, So very, very similar.
No, I like that. Yeah.
I don't think it will go down that way, to be honest, because my other one is the Whisperers are connected to hordes and herds of zombies. Is there potentially some Whisperers among the 2 hordes that are coming together, or the 2 herds of zombies coming together? Will this be the first moment that we see the Whispers, and will they do something nice for Rick by saving him?
Oh, interesting.
There you go.
Yeah, because how is he going to get out of that? That's
Will
the
he?
thing. I mean, he's pretty well. That's the thing, because part of me wonders if this is just going to be the next episode is just going to be his kind of hallucinations. Because we've heard rumors that there's going to be actors returning. I would love for him to have elements of Andrea's death in the comic, of having the ability to say goodbye to people and to have that kind of comfortable death that feels quite right in the comic books. But at the moment, I'm not seeing it. It looks like it's going to be a more frantic exit. And also, he'd have to physically make it back to Alexandria. And I just wonder, I'm at a bit of a loose end here as to what may or may not come up. But if I was to put money on any specific beats coming into it, I wonder if they would take some things from Andrea's death, because that was probably the most poignant and sort of well-written deaths that we've had in a while in terms of actual dialogue. So that would be my bet. But even then, it's a tentative bet. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't and they do something completely different.
Well, I know they took little pieces of that for Carl's farewells to the rest of the people around him as well. They have done that a little bit before, and I do think that The Walking Dead has to avoid every major character having the opportunity to say goodbye to everybody, because that is not the way the show started out, not the way the show's been going. They do like to have their surprises, but they really haven't had many surprises this season, because they've been telling us every week how many episodes are left until Rick goes. So, we know he's he's going in some sense next week on next week's episode, but I'm wondering what way they're going to do it. Yeah.
It's interesting. And what you say about Father Gabriel makes a kind of horrific sense, in the sense that still no one knows what happened to Gabriel. I think they mention it off the cuff in an issue. They're like, yeah, Gabriel never came back. Oh, must have died. Like,
exactly. Awful stuff.
It's so awful. But yeah, I would hope that they would at least be able to find out that Rick has died somehow, whether it's him as a walker or someone finding his body or whatever. But yeah, it is you've got me worried now.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, don't apologize. It's great.
Possibly we will have someone that's on the road to Alexandria, which is where Rick is, around that area, so potentially somebody on the road will turn around and see him, or help him or save him in some sense, so he doesn't die immediately. But
fingers crossed. Yeah. Well, who knows if we'll have something to talk to you guys about next week, but hopefully we'll be checking in. Definitely, I've been enjoying the show despite the lack of comicness. It's been a good few episodes, and I'm excited to see where it takes us. But It is nice to delve into it and see these wee parallels and wee allusions. They are there. They just need some teasing out, I think.
Exactly. Thanks so much for joining us, Ed. It's really good to be back on Comic Talk as well.
Absolutely. We are, as ever, delighted to be with you. And Derek, I shall speak to you very soon, I hope.
Definitely. Hopefully a little bit more next week when we see some possible flashbacks from Rick to cover up some pieces that we haven't seen from the comic book.
Oh, I'm so excited. In the meantime, don't fall over onto a pole and impale yourself / get bit.
Steer clear of horses.
Steer clear of horses. See you next week.
Thanks so much.
Be it real.